Bro. I didn't know you guys couldn't hear me. I was yapping for a second. Um, well, I'm basically gonna drive for like 20 minutes because I have to go to work and someone is gonna pick me up. So like after 20 minutes, I'm basically gonna like begin getting ready to leave and be picked up. Um, I'm just erasing a few parts of the drawing because they're not like where they're supposed to be. Um, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, basically for Airborne, I'm going to make the shading look better, like more like this. The reason why Quagmire looks red is because of the lighting. Let me, yeah. Basically in the song, we're gonna have the shading be more like, well, I mean the colors, they're gonna be more like yellowish, orangish, because it's like the sun is rising or setting. I feel like it should be rising in a way. That way, it makes sense with the Twinkle video because Twinkle was during nighttime, so final fight happens during nighttime, and then during Airborne, the sun begins to go up. But yeah, um, the song is gonna have the lighting be like like sun rising, and then after Quagmire begins getting corrupted, like in trouble, the lighting is gonna turn red because there's like trouble and stuff. Also because sometimes when there's like an alarm, the lights go red. Like an emergency or like a danger kind of thing. The lights go red, and basically that's what's happening here. I use a different glitch brush. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how to feel about it because it looked kind of weird. So I had to kind of like use the airbrush to make it darker, and I don't really know how to feel about it. And yeah, I'm gonna really have to. How do you call it? I'm going to have to make like a background at some point. I plan to have like Quagmire and Rallo be more like to the right. That way we can see like Peter Griffin, Joe, and Cleveland like looking a bit shocked. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna basically have everything be horizontally, you know, like on this side. Actually, it looks very fucking weird like this. Looks better like this. But yeah, oh wait, never mind. Airborne already looks like this, so like basically the guys are on the, or were they? Man, I forgot. But anyway, yeah. But wait, in order to blend the colors and shade, at least for me, I like to use the airbrush because it's like really easy to use and I like it. Also, man, I really wonder how long it's gonna take for, Darkness Takeover to come out. Because honestly, I will be very annoyed if it ends up being cancelled because you know, they keep on making jokes about it being cancelled and stuff. And for it to actually be cancelled, like for real, it will be kind of funny, but also just like frustrating. Now I'm gonna move them this way. Ugh. There we go. And right now I'm gonna make like a doodle for the background. Basically, this is gonna be the angle. Yeah. Yeah, more like this. And then I'm gonna, make a doodle for the seats. Yeah. And I forgot how the windows look, but I'm gonna have it be like this, I guess. For now. And for now, I'm gonna have like an emergency door over here. Because I do plan to have Peter fall off of the plane. So I might as well like slightly hint at it, or at least make it make sense. Basically, Peter's gonna fall on accident because the corruption accidentally rips off the door, leading to Peter Griffin flying off and landing on some trees and then falling on the floor, knocked out. This is basically why he's really like injured, and also isn't missing any like major parts of his body, because he wasn't in the explosion of the plane. He was just bruised by a bunch of trees. Um, Peter Griffin has survived like many things, so it will make sense that he survives this, like against the giant chicken and stuff. But like, he's still gonna be really injured. Um, Man, I really came up with this like in, not so long ago. And basically, I'm gonna make a doodle of Peter maybe. Didn't mean to do that. Like, we're gonna have just Peter like flabbergasted. Basically, the reason why Quagmire is grabbing Rallo is because Rallo was getting ready to attack Cleveland, and Quagmire basically grabbed him in order to like get his attention off of Cleveland, you know. Also to basically, he's basically getting frustrated. Like, come on, just like snap out of it, you know, that kind of attitude. And you know, Quagmire does not expect to become corrupted because you know he has survived all of this so far, and because of his arm. This is just a doodle, by the way. I know it doesn't really look like Peter Griffin or anything, but yeah. You know, Peter Griffin is gonna be the background, and then we can see like Cleveland here, and over here is gonna be Joe, which by the way, Joe will basically have his legs back because of the corruption during standoff. Oh my god, I think everyone already forgot about standoff, honestly. But yeah, this is where Joe will be, and this is where Cleveland will be. And they're basically like, you know, shocked because Quagmire is like showing signs of not being able to handle the corruption, you know. A sign of this, at least from what I drew, will be the eyes. You know. Give me a second. Well, I'm gonna have to leave in a bit, so yeah. I like how this looks. I basically wanted to add some more perspective into my art, mostly with the backgrounds, because most of the time it's just, you know, airbrush in the background, you know. So yeah, I really like how this looks. Basically for Quagmire, something. Well, I'm gonna stop drawing here because I have to like, you know, go and stuff. But basically for Quagmire, I'm gonna have his design be more like the Airborne design that they gave him. I gotta make him look more like a monster in a way. I think I have like an example. Ads. I hate ads so much. Um. Also, this is another like thing I made, the Airborne thing thumbnail. But yeah, okay, here. This is more like the design I will give him. More like a monster-like design. You know, more like no expression, just like a smile. More like a monster, basically. And the reason why this would change in Showdown, the final Showdown. Also, something I forgot. Oh, at least I'm pretty sure. Do you guys remember whenever Showdown was just gonna be another song, and it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't gonna be the finale. It was just another song with Adam West, you know. Because I remember that was a thing. Like no one ever like went like, oh yeah, it's the final Showdown, and all of a sudden they said, oh yeah, it's the last one. I mean, it's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I want to make them look like a monster like this in a way, also. But it's gotta be more tame. But yeah, you know how this looks more monstrous? Basically, Syntho is the same thing in a way. Like, they're more like a monster than Quagmire in a way. You know, basically, they're trading the Quagmire monstrous sign for Syntho in a way. That way, doesn't feel like all of them are mindless. Because giving Quagmire a mind of his own in a way makes him more intimidating as an antagonist and against Dewey's like whole thing, because he basically couldn't save him and he saved him, so that makes Stewie feel more guilt and more distracted. But yeah, that's pretty much it.